Good afternoon. The news. Babatunde Bolatito is my name. The federal government has approved a sum of 19.24 billion naira for the training of 50,000 non-graduate and power beneficiaries and the procurement of taxiway lighting system in the Port Harcourt, Lagos and Abuja airports. The Ministers of Humanitarian Affairs, Social Development and Disaster Management, Sadiya Farouk, and our counterparts in the Ministries of Aviation, Education and Water Resources revealed this to journalists in Abuja. The sum also covers consultancy services for the Dadinkowa 40 MW power project in Gombe State and the furnishing of the 10-story headquarters of the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency located in Victoria Island, Lagos. Report says that the federal government has approved the engagement of 4 of its agencies to train 50,000 non-graduate and power beneficiaries from 9 months. They include National Institute of Transport Technology, Industrial Training Fund, National Institute for Hospitality and Tourism, and the Hydraulic Equipment Development Institute. The Independent National Electoral Commission and the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission have been listed as panelists to discuss alleged corruption in Nigeria's 2023 election. The panel is put together by the Conversation Africa, which has, over the last 2 years, been hosting science policy dialogues that bring scientists and policymakers together to discuss issues. According to a statement, other panelists include Civil Society Legislative Advocacy Center, Amzat Lawal of Code for Africa, Dr. Damilola Agbalajobi, and Professor Emmanuel Ayede. The panelists is expected to address questions on the role of corruption in the just concluded general election and also note the gains and the challenges recorded. Women's participation in the election will also be addressed, and the panel hopes to highlight lessons learned from the future. President-elect Bola Tinubu won the February 25 presidential election in Nigeria as announced by the Independent National Electoral Commission. The United States of America says it has taken steps to impose visa restrictions on Nigerians involved in undermining the democratic process during the 2023 general election. This was made known in a statement by the Secretary of State, Anthony Blinken, published on the website of the U.S. government. U.S. State Department quoted Blinken as announcing the ban on unnamed individuals. According to Blinken, they are committed to supporting and advancing democracy in Nigeria and the world at large. The Secretary of State stated that visa ban was for certain individuals and not for Nigerians as a whole. The issue of assault is at the front burner once again, following the viral video showing where Afrobeat musician Seun Kuti slapped a police officer. This is just as legal practitioners warn of the consequences of the action. Oluchi Amada has detail.
An assault is a threat or attempt to inflict offensive physical contact or bodily harm on a person by lifting a fist in a threatening manner that puts the person in immediate danger or apprehension. Mr. Tunde Babashola is a legal practitioner. He speaks on what the Nigerian Constitution says about assault.
It's a criminal offense, I've just said it, and it can also be a civil action, which means anybody who is assaulted in like manner or in any manner whatsoever, you can approach the court of law to seek for remedies in terms of compensation.
The issue of assault is not new to Nigerians, as many have either witnessed it or have fallen victim of such, most especially from law enforcement agents. What, however, seems to be rare is to see an officer being harassed by citizens. This was the situation with the Afrobeat musician Seun Kuti, who was seen in a viral video assaulting a police officer in uniform on the 3rd Mainland Bridge in Lagos. Although Seun Kuti has been arrested as ordered by the Inspector General of Police, Usman Baba, who equally demanded a speedy and full investigation into the remote and immediate causes of the incident, Mr. Babashola said the act is condemnable in its entirety.
The act is condemnable is condemnable, particularly when it's coming from a celebrity like Seun Kuti. It is condemnable. So everybody should condemn it, because if it were to be the police that probably assault a citizen, all of us would, of course, rise against it, speak against it, and so on and so on. And now that is another way around, we must not lose our voice in condemning such acts.
The Afrobeat musician had, in the social media post, alleged that his head officer attempted to murder him and his family. He has also sought the legal services of the senior advocate of Nigeria, Femi Falana, who announced that Seun has evidence to defend his action. According to Section 356 of the Nigerian Criminal Code, anyone found guilty of assault is liable to 3 years in prison. Oluchi Amuda, OSBC News.
Meanwhile, the Lagos State Police Commander has reiterated that the Afrobeat musician Seun Kuti will be taken to court for arraignment for assaulting a policeman on duty in Lagos, as captured in a viral video. The police public relations officer in Lagos State, Benjamin Hunay, told newsmen that the musician who turned himself in was handcuffed and detained, who spent the night in the custody. He was accompanied by a senior advocate of Nigeria, Adeyinka Olumide Fusika, alongside a lawyer from Falana and Falana Chambers, Femi Akinyemi. The Nigerian Defense Academy has said that the list purporting to be the official selection list for the 75 regular course of the Academy is fake. The Academy Public Relations Officer, Major Victor Olukoya, said in a statement in the Kaduna, he said the attention of the NDA has been drawn to a fake list that has gone viral on some social media and other microblogging platforms. He warned members of the public to steer clear of this fake publication and publishers of the fake list. He noted that the process of selecting members of 75 regular course of the Academy is rigorous and thorough and is still ongoing. And now to sports. Nigeria's senior men's national rugby team, Black Stallions, will kick off their campaign for the Paris 2024 Olympic qualifier with the first game against Ghana in Mauritius. The Black Stallions will be hoping to cause another upset by making it to the Olympics after shocking the world in 2014 by qualifying for the Commonwealth Games in Glasgow. They will take on Burundi, which will be crucial before tackling the Democratic Republic of Congo in their first pool match. Nigeria began its preparation for the Olympics qualifiers in early May with the convergence of players based in the United Kingdom under the watchword of Temi Okenla, while newly appointed Stallion coach Steve Lewis has been supervising players based in Europe and the United States of America. At least 6 people have been killed in a fire that tore through a 4-story hostel in the early hours of today in New Zealand's capital, Wellington. Reports say several people were plugged from a rooftop for safety. The emergency services in the country said multiple people have died in the 92-room hostel and 52 people have been rescued. The Fire and Emergency Deputy National Commander, Brendan Nally, said the firefighters used a ladder truck to save people trapped in the roof. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Chris Himping said death toll was at least 6, but the city's mayor, Tori Wonau, said it could be significantly higher. That's the media news on OSBC TV. Please join us at 3 for the state news. Good afternoon.